We got ourselves a 2003 Chevy Silverado. Got the V8 gas engine, not the diesel. Vortec. It looks like I tore everything apart. But guys, this was like 5-10 minutes of work, like really. Got some parts on the ground. Pretty simple. Massive power steering leak. Knew it's coming out of this hose down here. I already got my new hose on. There's my old hose. It's going from cooler to, let's see if we can take a look. Gearbox. Where you at? Right there. That little guy. It's got a nipple on it. All you need is power 3/8 power steering hose. And this one is just dry rotted and cracked. Can't really see it when it's not pressurized. There you can see it. See, I bend it and you can see those cracks. There's just spewing out of this whole hose. And I'm going to show you how I got down to business. Now, this has a winch on the front of it and an extra bracket welded onto the frame and stuff. So I opted to take everything apart to get to it. You can get to it through between the bumper and behind here, but it's difficult. So I just took everything apart. Like I said, it didn't take long at all. So I already hose clamped the new line on, the new hose. Now I just got to hose clamp it down there and attach zip ties to the other hose so it doesn't wobble around or anything. And I'll show you how I took all this apart here in a moment. Let me get my hose put back on. And the first thing to go back in is going to be this plastic guy here. You can see the bolt holes. It sits like this. And this is flexible on this side. And it goes all the way back to there in your wheel well. This gap was already there. And all these are 10mm bolts, except for 2 of them are black T25s right there. 2 Torx bits. And I'm going to show you putting this back together. And power steering leak will be fixed once I hose clamp that other end. Alright, we got our other end of the hose put on. And this top line we didn't replace, that's going to the pump. The one we did replace is going to the gearbox. This is a Hydroboost setup. So instead of a vacuum brake booster, the power steering pressure is giving you your power brakes. Sorry, we got some sunlight here. So we got another hose that goes up and into here. If that one's leaking, you can replace it with power steering hose. They do sell a molded hose for this. That way you can get that sharp angle without kinking. This hose wanted to kink. I just routed it in a way so it didn't kink. And then we'll tie it up. So yeah, if it's this pressure hose here, you're going to want to buy the line with hose. So it goes into rubber. But as far as those 3 hoses go, you could just use power steering hose. You could buy from the parts store, 3/8. You could buy it by the foot. They cut it off in length, 3/8 size. There we go. Now we're going to put this guy back in there. Alright, we've ran our wiring harnesses through where they need to go. Make a note of them when you're taking it apart. It's got these holes in this black plastic. And we're going to fish that little tail in first. Get that going. Send this bulb around where it's supposed to be. Somebody put LEDs in here. And this hood latch cable, it's got a little Christmas tree retainer, pops into here. So we just fish it in there, almost got it. So all the bolts line up. Just working our way in there. And there is this little flap with Christmas trees in it. That gets popped back into there from the back side. There's one, and there's another one down below. Just gonna line that up. Those were tough to get out. Use some hemostats or whatever they're called. Just get to the back of them and get them popped out. Well, that guy goes under the bumper there. We are getting there. Got this top one lined up. I'll just pop that one in now, 10 millimeter. See if we can get a little closer so you guys can see. We got one bolt down there on this little tail. We'll get a look right here. See this little tail? It goes in right there. That was the only one I had to get out with a wrench. And it wasn't too hard at all to get to with everything off. So we've got this one lined up. This one almost lined up. We gotta line up all the center ones, get them all bolted in. We got all our wires going through. 3 of them for the bottom headlight, 2 of them for the top. Bulbs are left in on that top one. All right, let me get all these bolts fitted down here. All right, there we go. We got her all tightened down. This is how I get to that bolt down there. Just a little 10 millimeter on a small ratchet, 1/4 inch. All the bolts are tight. There was a T25 and a 10. That's the only socket size you'll need. Hood latch cable snaps back in there. See, those are the other end of that little flappy guard right there. That's the Christmas trees that hold them in. Everything's pretty much lined up. This bumper's took a hit in the past, so that's not quite going in there right. That's all right. She'll be fine. See right there, Christmas tree. All right, so this guy, that thing that went all the way through here, it is right here. And there's a little metal clip right here. I dropped it on the floor somewhere. We'll have to find it. And so when you're taking this off, you'll have to undo that little clip. It's just a little metal clip, pretty self-explanatory. And I just took out one of the plastic pins there to give me a little more room on that metal clip. So just pop that right back in, super easy. Now it's time to put our headlights back in. All right, so our headlights clip in. The lower one clips in here and here. So we'll show you that. Let's grab the lower lamp. And see, it's got that little ear right there. First, let's get our bulbs clipped back in. Boom. So I'm pretty sure yellow amber bulb goes on the outside. Yep. Somebody's putting an LED on this other one, but there's no LED on the other side. That's kind of weird. Run into a little bit of everything around here. So these just twist in. Gotta press in to take them out. Press in on the clip and turn to get those out. Shove some of this extra wiring. They made it extra long from the LED back in there. So we're gonna clip it in this side. It just kind of sits in, and then we press the clip in, and boom, she's in there. Now our upper headlight, it was tough to get this little latch out. You might want to spray it down if it's rusty like this one. All right, so we got our left and our right wiring harness. Can't screw them up because they're kind of like pointing to the side that they're supposed to clip into. Whoops, had it upside down. There we go. And these should just clip on. And they sit down in the little slot. You sit them down in their little slot first. Move your hood latch cable out of the way. So there's these little slots it sits down in, then you press it back in so that the upper pin ears line up. We'll show you. There's these little tabs right there that sit in. We got this pin that goes through here. Once it lines up with it, perfect. And then we'll be moving on to the grill. I gotta press this pin in the rest of the way, kind of swivel, give it a little gusto. Kind of sits into a little slot back there. It's got this little slot. I think that cable is ran behind here. I'm not sure. Can't remember how that came off. Might have to run it back underneath there for fun. All right, so that is all reassembled. It's really easy. I could do it a lot faster if I felt like it. Now we reassemble the grill. Grill is super simple. Let's see if we can get an eye on these clips. It's all held in with clips. See these rusty clips? They pop in. The thing about them is they don't like to pop out after they get all rusty. So each one of these I real carefully got a screwdriver behind to pop it out, so I didn't break the plastic just pulling on it, because it can break pretty easily. Alright, we've got some winch wires here. Need to go back down where they were. There we go. Get this plastic piece out of the way. So we just got to line this grill up with its little grooves. There's one snapped in. Easy. And this one was never snapped in on this side. It was all loose. Maybe because some stuff is bent. There we go. I got it to snap in. Better than it was before. Snap in the other side. There we go. Bottom. Bottom. And you can reach down before you take it off. You reach down in between the grill with a screwdriver. Let's see. Focus camera. There we go. There it is. I put a screwdriver in back behind on this metal to pop it out without breaking the plastic. And there's that. Now we just got one more thing to put on. That's going to be this little cover here. Goes this way. In this cover, you line up the holes, and we've got all these plastic pins. You put the first half in, like that, and this pops in like that and locks it in. When you're taking these off, you get a screwdriver underneath of there to lift up. There's a little groove for a screwdriver to fit in. You can lift up. If you're struggling, work the other side, work this side, get some pliers in there and pop them out. So that'll be reassembled. Everything's back together. Just got to put the rest of the plastic pins in. And then we got to fill up our power steering fluid, which is right there. And this is Hydroboost, so it has like no brakes because of the power steering leak. And what you're going to do is fill up that power steering reservoir and start it up and turn the wheels left and right, because there's going to be a bunch of air pockets in there. And your steering's not going to come back until those air pockets are gone. Now, him driving this without fluid in there, the pump might be bad. We might have to replace the pump afterwards. We'll find out. So we're going to turn the steering wheel back and forth until those air pockets start to give. Let it run for a second. Cut the wheels all the way to one way. Shut it off. Let it sit for a couple minutes. Start it up. Turn the wheels all the way the other way. Let it run for a second. Shut it off. Bring the wheels back to straight. Top off the fluid. Take it for a drive. Check the fluid again. And that'll about do it. So super easy to take the grill and headlights and everything out. Just pop these pins out. Pop the grill out. Careful not to break the plastic. Pull your pin out. Get this headlight out. That headlight clips in there. Use a screwdriver to pop that clip. Pull this out. Get your wiring out of the way. 10mm 25 T25 socket. Pull that out. Boom, you can get to the hoses with lots of room. Instead of struggling to get down in there, you could just pull the grill out and try to struggle. Get up underneath of it from the front, from the back. Whatever you want to do. That's how I did it.